we'll study in this lecture series about the reading introduction. So you'll be getting a total of 1 hour total time, and in that 1 hour you'll have to solve 40 question times, which will be given in 3 sections. That is, number of passage will be 3, and every question type would be solved using a different technique, more or less using a different technique. Now in academic, the passages are very long, like I would say, like there are two types, right? General and academic. So in academic, the passages are very long, on about 1500 words per passage is there for students giving academic tests, and there are tough topics also given, and those tough topics could be related to history or science. So this is for academic, and yeah, so more or less this is the introduction. If you're giving a paper based test, then though you can mark and write on question paper, you must answer your answers on reading answer sheet, and you must write your answers in pencil. No extra time is given for transferring your answers from test booklet to reading test answer sheet. And for computer based students, student needs to write or mark their answers on the screen. So don't do this, that you're reading the question and you're asking the answering the or marking the answers on the rough sheet or question paper, because no extra time will be allotted to you to mark the answers. Okay. Now, academic and general training reading tests are graded to the same level. However, because the texts in academic tests are more challenging overall than those in general training tests, more question needs to be answered correctly on a general training test to receive the same grade. Okay, so क्या होता है कि IELTS academic test में 3 long tests होते हैं. There are 3 long tests which range from descriptive and factual to discursive and analytical, and the texts are authentic and are taken from books or journals or magazines. Basically, this is a non-specialized audience. A variety of question type is used in order to test a wide range of reading skills. So, each correct answer gives you 1 mark. And scores out of 40 are converted into IELTS band 9 scale. Scores are reported in whole and half bands, and there is no negative marking. So what I was saying, because देखो एक example दिखाते हैं. ये general है, ये academic है, academic. Now band 9, if you are scoring band 9, then in both general and academic, your marking would be, for general it would be 40, and it is 39 to 40. Now there are 40 questions, we have said here 40 questions. Out of 40, if you scored 40 out of 40, only then in general your band score would be 9. Otherwise, it's going to fall on 8. Band score is going to be 8.5 if you even score 39. So even with minus 1 mark, like if 1 mark is deducted, directly your band score is going from 9 to 8.5 in case of general test. And in academic, 39 to 40 will score you 9 bands, obviously, and 37 to 38 is going to give you 8.5 bands in reading. So if you're giving academic test, try and maintain a high score. I always speak, well, people out there say that you should at least aim for 8 or 7. I say you should aim for 9, because if you are going to aim for 9, only then, like by mistakes, you'll reach at 8.5 or 8. Here, if you're giving a general reading test, you can't afford to lose even 1 marks if you want to score 9. And the reason being, because academic is so hard, the academic test is so hard in terms of reading. See, you can see that 1500 words per passage are given, tough topics are given, that they have shown some leniency in the marking scheme as compared to the general ones. Now, what are the types of questions they'll be asking you? Okay. So there are basically 13 to 14 question types that you'll be asked. Let's see them, list them out. What are the question types? So, question types. First is MCQs. So this question requires you to pick the correct answer from the given choices. You'll be given multiple choices A, B, C, D, and you'll be asked to choose one of them. So this type of question tests your ability to understand detailed and specific information. How well you are understanding the specifics. The next type of question type is list selection. List selection is choose the correct answer from the given words, list of words, information on names. Answers is usually A to G, and read the instruction carefully to check. So what they'll give you a passage, and they'll give you a list of words to choose from, and you have to choose it from the list of words, whatever the information is. It could be a name also. and you have to answer it correctly. The third is information identification. Information identification questions जो कि हुए true, false या not given. So identify whether the given information is true, false or not given. This type of question tests your ability to clearly understand what the text is talking about. फिर आता है फोर्थ वन, इंफॉर्मेशन मैचिंग. इंफॉर्मेशन मैचिंग में आता है find a specific information and place them where they fit to be. You need to have clearly understood the text and be able to understand every paragraph and what information it contains. So information matching. Then fifth is heading matching. As the name suggests, you have to give appropriate heading to a particular paragraph. So you have to pick a suitable heading from the given list of heading. Mainly if you have clearly understood the given text and find the main idea of every paragraph. Main idea of every paragraph, you'll be able to make a heading out of every paragraph. Then sixth is features matching. Features matching. Find specific information about a given feature and match it. Example के लिए, you can be given different people who discover different things at different times. You're now required to match who discovered what at what time. So this is like not a very popular question type. And then there is something known as matching sentence endings. So part of a sentence is picked from a line or text. Okay, so they can say that I reside in Delhi. This is the text line and they can pick this. So I dash in Delhi. And they can give you options. Live in Delhi. Do not, something like that, where you have to match these sentences. You have to locate where it has been taken from in the text and complete that sentence. Now eighth one is sentence completion. An incomplete sentence is given and you are supposed to complete it words taken from the text. Then summary completion. A summary part of the text will be given to you and you will be you're required to complete it by picking words from the text with a given maximum number of words to complete it. Sometimes synonyms of these words can be used or would be used and that would be given in a box and you need to choose the correct answer from the box. So suppose I said I dash in Delhi, for example, and instead of reside here in the option it would be written live. So both are same. One would be I eat in Delhi, one would be I sleep in Delhi, and one would be I play in Delhi. So live and the text in the passage would say reside. So these are synonymous. So most appropriate answer would be live. Now short answer questions. These short answer questions. So answer the questions from given facts in the text. Moreover, you need to check the number of words given in the instruction. Number of words given in the instruction. And a maximum number of words is always given. So answer in not more than 2 words. In that case, if you are answering in 3 words, then automatically you will lose your marks. You can not more than means 2 से ज़्यादा नहीं. So you can also use 1 word. You can also use 2 words to answer the question, but not 3 words. That would be wrong. And you have to match it. Like it should, that 1 word or 2 words should not come from your own understanding or knowledge. It should come from the passage text. Then global question. Global question is basically choosing a title. So here you need to find the main idea of the passage, and the passage that tests this question might not be presented with the title. And then there is finally something so nice, that is flow chart, diagram and table completion. So we need to complete the gaps in the table, okay, or diagram or flow chart with the correct word from the passage. Great. Now there are some tips. So before every question, you will have a set of instruction and you know what they mean. So now we are going to talk about tips. So you guys need to pay as much as attention as you can on these tips. So before every question, you will be given a set of instructions and know what they mean. So if they say, for example, if they say write no more than 2 words, then it means, if suppose a person A has written leather coat as answer from the text, and another person wrote coat made of leather. Now both the answers say something about leather coat or coat made of leather. So the meaning is same. What the essence they want to say is similar, but since the question gave you precise instruction that you should not answer it more than 2 words, and you here answered it in 4 words, you will not get any marks even though the meaning is similar. So you need to answer in 2 words only and transfer only the missing word. Okay, there also many people make mistakes that transfer only the missing word. Many times, for example, if I give it in a sentence that suppose I am writing in the dash, and your answer should be in the evening. Okay, this is your answer from the text only I'm saying. And instead of writing evening, you wrote the whole sentence in the evening. Even one word after the given answer, and one word given before the answer, if you have written that in your final answer, 0 marks will be given. So write only the answer, write as per the word limit, and do not change the word. Another tip is, do not change the word or use synonyms. So if suppose I could say that I lived in India, or I cannot write it as I so I have in the text the word or the line says my answer was lived. In my final answer I cannot write recited, so I cannot write synonyms. I will have to use only the actual word from the passage. Okay, now if I say no more than 2 words, if for this step, this is the extension of this first step, that if the passage says write no more than 2 words, so can I write 2 in the answer? Can I write these 2 things in the answer, like 2 as a number or 10 as a number? Would it be correct? Absolutely not. 0 marks for both the answers, because they did not say anything about writing a number. Okay, but if they would have said ki no more than 2 words and or a number, then in that case, if I write 2, if I write 10, it will be correct, because they said or a number. If you talk about, this is the condition, if you talk about and situation, 2 words and a number, so I can write 2 black sheep and it will be correct. So this is for or a number, and this is for 2 words and a number. Now, the most important tip in writing, listening and reading questions, because speaking, obviously you have to speak, in writing you'll have to write as you write, but this is a tip for both listening and reading that you have to write in all caps. Whatever you write, the answer should be always written. Answer should always be written in capital letters. So make this your habit. Make this your habit that whenever you write an answer, suppose my answer is evening or my answer is live, you need to write in capital letters and not like this and not like this or not like this, because what happens is that this is the wrong way and this is the right way. The reason being, because proper and common noun. So if you wrote country like this, if you wrote country in smalls, then also it is a problem. But writing country like this would not be a problem for you. Okay, like if I wrote, for example, Madhuri, but this is a proper noun. Okay, it is a name of person, so you should start with a capital letter. But it instead of writing Madhuri in caps, there in exam by mistake you wrote Madhuri in small letters, small m, you will get 0 marks under grammar. Okay, and suppose in a place where, suppose instead of writing, like for suppose, uh, towel. Okay, it is a common noun, it's not a proper noun, and you wrote capital T instead of writing this, there also you lose marks. So better that you write in capital letters. Then there are some techniques to read the text. What are those techniques? So in IELTS reading, you cannot have this habit of reading the whole passage. So if you are given a big passage, let's say this much big, and you will have to answer 40 questions in 1 hour, and for example this big passage into 3 times, because 3 passages would be given, so you will be unable to answer your questions on time. So you cannot read the whole passage over and over again, and therefore there are some techniques that are given, a total of 10 techniques, and we'll read it one by one. So the first one is scanning. Okay, now second, scanning is like we look for a particular word in the para and ignore the whole thing. तो जैसे कि मेरे क्वेश्चन में दिया है, my question says COVID-19 vaccination was introduced by So when I look at the text, instead of reading the whole text, I will first underline what I need. So COVID-19 vaccination introduced. So I look for the word especially COVID-19 in the whole text. So there can be many lines, and in one of the lines COVID-19 would be written, and that would help you out to finalize your answer. So this is known as scanning, and scanning is basically you look for a particular word on the para and ignore the whole thing. Particular word in the para and you'll have to ignore the whole thing. Then there is something known as skimming. अब skimming में क्या होता है कि the action of reading something quickly, बहुत जल्दी से read कर देना. जैसे मेरा ये एक paragraph है and I'll read it so quickly and I'll make the note of only important points. So that is skimming for you. So to read something quickly, and you're not reading it just quickly, you're also looking for the important points as well. That is why you're reading it quickly. So that is skimming. Now third is keywords. Another technique is to find out the keywords. So keywords example is very well given here, that a question is asked. I'll give you another question. That a question is asked, okay, COVID-19 vaccination was mandated by which country? Now, by, or you can have this question like this: by dash country. So you'll have to give the name of a country from the text who had mandated the vaccination of COVID-19. So now my keywords here would be COVID-19. Because it's a word and 19 is given as a number, it will be very easy to identify. Vaccination is my keyword, mandated is my keyword, and country, I'll have to look for a text which has a country name. So when I'm reading the text, scanning it, I'll look for these keywords in my text. Wherever I could find COVID-19, wherever I could find mandated, wherever I could find a country name, that would be my answer. Fourth technique is paraphrase information. Paraphrase information. Now what happens is, many a times in text, in question, they would have given the same meaningful sentence in a different word, and in the text it would be written in a different word. So that is what we know as synonyms. A synonym of few words will be given. Like if we take this example, COVID-19 vaccination was mandated by dash country. Sometime in their paragraph, okay, so COVID-19 is a universal word, so we'll get COVID-19. Vaccination, immunization. It could be paraphrased as the word immunization. Mandated, must be, must or was made, there were strict provisions. So such synonyms could be used. Country, they could say the word nation. So nation. So that particular nation name would be given. Though many a times what happens is, student would look for COVID-19 and they would not be able to find the word vaccination, and they would not be able to figure out that, oh, it is written as immunization. Mandated is written by the word, it has been made a must rule, or the word country is synonym to the word nation. So you'll have to look for the paraphrase information as well. Now fifth is to give it a detailed reading. There'll be some question types which will study further, which would be solved only after giving it a detailed reading. Like for example, matching information or matching heading type, especially the one that is matching heading type. Because matching heading, I'm giving an example, because only after you have read the full para, only then you'll be able to give it a good, like the most appropriate heading. So here you can't just read few lines, or you can't just use the other few techniques. You will have to give it a detailed reading, or you can read it super fast in order to get the gist of the paragraph, so that you can give it a appropriate heading. Then predicting. Okay, so predicting means, before you solve the question, when you're reading the question, try to predict the answer. What happens is, for example, if I take this question, COVID-19 vaccination was mandated by dash. So obviously, then when I'll have to look for the answer in the text, I'll be looking at a country name. For example, I say USA could be my answer, or Europe could be my answer, or any other country for that would be my answer. Now, COVID-19 vaccination was introduced by. So I predict my answer ki either it would be a pharmaceutical company name or a country name for that matter. So, who is